Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. We are retired New York City police detectives and 9/11 World Trade Center first responders. If you like all things true crime related from that police detective's perspective, you're in the right spot. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all things DutyRon and my partner Ed Wallace when we go live or upload another video. Hey, tonight I want to talk to you about Wade Wilson fangirl, Kiosk Kristen. And I didn't want to do this live stream, but I know I had to do this because it goes beyond anything I would have ever imagined in these phone calls. We're going to talk about Kiosk Kristen tonight, sharing pictures with a two-time indicted murderer. He was indicted for 2 murders, and she is on prison calls with him, telling him she shared photos of her daughter with him. Despicable, disgusting, repulsive, borderline criminal, everything and anything that you would go against the parental handbook. I'm just disgusted, not only just as a retired law enforcement professional, but as a parent. It's disgraceful. But I want to say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, the replay viewers, the moderators, and everyone who positively engages here on Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. You guys are what makes it a great place. I give thanks and praise to each and every one of you. Let me know in the chat if you've seen this or heard this phone call from prison reviewed by JumpsuitPablo, our good friend. JumpsuitPablo did the review, and also phone calls from prison. So shout out to both those channels. You saw them in the trailer for this live stream, and I felt it was very important to talk about this. Not only does she show and tell us verbally on this phone call that she shared photos with him, she also goes on to talk about some of her extracurricular activities and how she can earn money at $500 an hour. I found that repulsive, and I found a lot of the sexual innuendo that was being exchanged between the two of these, one monster and one just equally as evil person. Kiosk Kristen has, in my opinion, I don't care what she says, that she's reformed herself or that she's a better person now. What mother in their right mind sends a picture of their daughter? I don't care how old she was, how young she was, or whatever the case may be. You're sending it to a jail. And guess what happens in jail, ladies and gentlemen? These inmates, these convicts, these subhumans, these monsters, they share pictures. They share photographs amongst each other. And what do they share them for? Money and privilege. And what is Wade Wilson all about? Put money on my books. Go to the kiosk. Put money on the kiosk. We heard the kiosk time and time and time again. Everything that Wade Wilson is about revolves around money and control. And what the hell do you think he would do with those pictures? He talked in this prison phone call we're about to listen to about making a makeshift masturbation glove out of a surgical glove and hand cream, and doing that nasty. That's what goes on in jails and in prisons. I've been around prisons for almost a decade and a half of my career, in and out of prisons, picking up inmates from state, local, and federal lockups. And I've been in and out of these facilities, and they're not great places to be, and a lot of shady shit goes on. I have a whole page full of notes about this phone call. Yeah, he called it the Fifi, right? Despicable. These notes are just unbelievable. He told Kristen in this phone call that he masturbates to her pictures. And she goes on to tell him that she sent a picture of her daughter to him. Yeah, on the kiosk. Did you see the picture I sent? She goes on to talk about that. And she also goes another step further. She says that her daughter is financially supporting her because she can't support her. This is, again, 5-6 years in the past. So she's sending Wade Wilson money, arguably from her daughter. It's crazy. This whole conversation, this whole idea around this is despicable. And I have a whole page full of notes. We're going to get into it live. I just came home from date night with Mrs. DutyRon, so I apologize for starting a little late. It's really not like me to start late, but I want to just go to you guys in the chat, and I want to say this: we support phone calls from prison. We support Jumpsuit Pablo. Well, I want to go through the call, and I'm going to do the call in a shorter version of, instead of listening to all the laughing and the and all the bullshit. I'm going to pick out some of the finer points of this thing. Put a 1 in the chat if you want phone calls from prison. Put a 2 in the chat if you want me to use Jumpsuit Pablo's, because Jumpsuit does a little bit of narrating, and it's a little more funny, and it's a little bit more of a narration. But 1 in the chat if you want just a straight phone call. 2 in the chat if you want me to play Jumpsuit. I got permission from both of them to use whatever the chat decides. I'll let the Kiosk Club make the decision. And I'm seeing a lot of number 2s flying through the chat. I see some number 1s. Phone calls from prison is going to be linked in the description, and this is what we're going to see when we play it. I have the for your advantage, I have the closed caption up. All right. I'm going to start it off in what we're talking about. We're going to go with number 2. We're going to do Jumpsuit. And again, like I said, both of them, it didn't matter which way this thing went, but it looks like popular demand is the Jumpsuit version. I'm going to start this out where they talk about the pictures. And I'm going to start it out here because that's what I was just talking to you about, how gross it was. And at around the 17-minute mark, they talk about the pictures. And then we'll go back and we'll double back and we'll watch it. So let's take a listen to this. This is Kiosk Kristen and Wajicus Wilson talking pretty gross. So if you're sensitive to this stuff, it's time to plug the ears up. And a lot of...
Oh, hell no. Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
And there's going to be a couple of new ones.
You could ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
It's a couple of new ones that I added in there tonight. So let's take a listen to this. I know Luna Mia says, I can't listen. It makes me sick. But you know what? I'm going to put myself back on, but just for a second, fully for this, it makes me sick. I'm a parent. I'm a retired law enforcement professional, but I'm a human being first and foremost. And even if you don't have a son or a daughter, this is not something that normal people do. Ladies, part of Wade Wilson, Wajicus Wilson's fan club, get your heads out of your asses and stop doing stupid stuff like this. If you are going to put yourself out there, do not let your children get involved in this. Do not allow your kids, whether they're 18, whether they're 15, whether they're 20, well, I don't care what age they are, what mother allows a daughter to exchange photographs on a kiosk at the Lee County Jail with this monster who murdered and was indicted of murdering 2 innocent women, Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Who does that? I ask that. I present that question to you. Who in their ever-loving right mind delivers up their kids on a silver platter into a prison, into a jail? I stand corrected. Into a jail environment where these subhumans share pictures for financial gain, for privileges. It's just sickening. Let's take a listen.
See if I have a picture online of me and him together, and I'll send it to you.
Shoot it. Hey, I got the
Did
picture.
you send my other pictures?
I did. Maybe I got the one of you, and then I got the one of your daughter too, when she was on the computer.
There it is. I got the pictures you sent me. I got the picture of you and your daughter. What in the actual fuck is that?
Oh, hell no.
17-minute mark on this video. And look at Jumpsuit Pablo's face. Pablo, who spent a decade of his life behind bars. And him and I had a long conversation today, by the way. Me and Paul were on the phone for a little bit today talking about this. And he was repulsed because he knows firsthand, Sassy Pants, good to see you. Paul knows firsthand, Jumpsuit Pablo, he knows that prisoners exchange photographs of their own loved ones, their girlfriends, their fangirls, all of these racy pictures that get sent to them. It's an exchange club. It's an exchange club. And now we hear Kiosk Kristen, and you hear Wajicus Wilson confirming that he received not only her picture, which makes me throw up in my mouth, but the daughter's picture. And for any of you fans of Kiosk Kristen, I don't think there's many out there, but those of you saying, oh, leave her alone. She made a mistake and she, you know, her children are suffering. Well, look at what the fuck she did here. Look at what she did.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what? I'm actually going to see if I have a picture online of me and him together, and I'll send it to you.
Shoot it. Hey, I got the
Did
picture.
you send me other pictures?
I did, baby. I got the one of you, and then I got the one of your daughter too, when she was on the computer.
Why are you sending photos of your teenage?
I mean, he's speechless, and he reacts to these things without watching them. He's speechless on this, and I am outraged. I'm outraged because it is sickening on so many levels. And I looked into the Florida statutes, you know, because right away my mind is going, you know, to the penal law, to the New York State and the Florida State penal law, to see what type of crimes, if any, could have, you know, been charged in regards to this. And it's a kind of a gray area, but it goes against parental ethics. Who in their right mind offers up a photograph or allows your daughter to get on that kiosk? And she's not just searching for Wade Wilson by herself. She hears good old Mama Bear talking and loving it up with this guy. And coincidentally, you know, Jumpsuit Pablo said it good last night. Wade Wilson is working Breezy, as we know, may she rest in peace. He's talking with her continuously. There's more calls probably from Joey, his boyfriend. There is more calls from other random people that were reaching out to him on this thing. And he is mooching money off of each and every person that calls him. He doesn't give a flying rat's ass about Kiosk Kristen. He doesn't give a rat's ass about anybody who's calling him. What he is concerned about is what he can get. We heard him try to shake down channel Fox 4 in Florida. He tried to shake Fox 4 down for exclusive rights to his interview that he thought would be worth money. This guy's a piece of human garbage. And Kiosk Kristen's not too far behind him. I don't care how far in the past this is. There's no redeeming yourself after something like this. In my eyes, that's despicable behavior. It is disgusting and gross.
You know what? I'm just gonna play the call.
She was writing. Yeah, she was writing about you.
Listen, I can't wait. Listen, when I get my shit, man, I'm gonna start writing to her.
Disgusting. Disgusticus. Nasty, creepy.
Disgusticus.
I don't even gotta say anything. I really don't.
Like all my favorite.
All right, listen. I'm gonna put that order in. I'm gonna do yours first, but when I can get on the kiosk for you. Because listen, let me tell you, my daughter's on my ass, bro. She's on my ass big time.
Like, my daughter, she's always harping me and breathing down my neck. Pull your grades up. Cut the lawn. Do your chores. You're grounded. Go to your room, Mom. Because my daughter's the adult of the house. That's the joke. That's the concept of the joke I was making.
seriously, because I walked out of my job, she's pissed. You know what I'm saying?
Baby, I'm pissed.
So I quit my job. I can't pay for any bills. I can't pay the house. I can't pay the lights. I can't pay the water. So she, all of a sudden, now she's mad.
You know, he brings up a really good point here, because Kiosk Kristen at this time is definitely not doing well financially. You could hear it in all these calls. She says, I got to wait to get my money. I'm having problems getting paid for my job. She goes on to talk about that she could go on the arm of another man and make $500. Now, ladies, you let me know in the chat, and if there's any gentlemen that are watching this, what do you think Kiosk Kristen was alluding to by saying that she could go on the arm of any man and not have to kiss him and make $500? I'm going to let you guys be the judge of what she was alluding to there. I already know what it is, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear what the ladies and the gentlemen in the chat, what you think. And here, the first thing that shoots out to me is Heather whatever. And then right behind that is Miranda. And then Gucci in New York City. Oh, Gucci in New York City. Prostitution, obviously. I'll let you guys be the judge of it. I had Kristen break down, not Kiosk Kristen, of course, my good, innocent, pure Kristen, break down this call. And basically, the talk about the phone sex and the sex goes on in a short period of time. So let me let the rest of this play. So yeah, we're going to hear her talk about that.
Why aren't you laughing with me? Waitress, did you hear me? I said she's mad that I can't afford the bills anymore as her late 30-year-old mother.
She's 37.
And she's a teenager. She's angry with me.
Kiosk Kristen, for a little bit of background, is around 37 years old at the time of this call. She's around 37. So fast forward 5 going on 6 years. You guys could do the math on that one. So she's 37 at the time of these calls.
Like, yo, man, whoa, back up off me. Am I right?
No, my daughter told me to leave. My daughter told me to leave.
It just keeps getting better. My daughter kicked me out of the house. My daughter said I'm grounded and I can't go hang out with my friends in the parking lot of a store anymore. Can you believe that? God. She said, until I pull my grades up, I can't hang out with Jasons and hang around in a broke down car in the parking lot of Dollar General on a Wednesday afternoon.
I also want to reiterate, too, that phone calls from prison, being good people that they are, there was a lot of phone calls that I listened to, and courtesy of phone calls from prison, I listened to about 10 additional phone calls from, again, may she rest in peace, Breezy, with Wade Wilson. And the reason I wanted to hear them, and of course, I'm not going to put them out there. They're not putting them out there out of respect for her family. Wade Wilson is doing the same game to Breezy, back and forth, the same disgusting game of, you know, you're beautiful, send me money, I like your pictures, what are you doing? It's the same conversation with just a different person on the other end and a different personality. And then there is a ton of phone calls from Kiosk Kristen where she does some really questionable things as it pertains to her children, to her kids that are in her teens that they decided not to release because it was that bad. And I'm going to try to get to listen to those myself, just to hear it for myself, not to talk about it, not to review it, not to go over it. But Breezy, people are asking in the chat, Breezy overdosed. She OD'd and passed away. And I have all the details on that. But that's not what this live stream is about. This live stream is about Kiosk Kristen offering up, or did send pictures, or her daughter sent pictures to Wade Wilson after they knew he was indicted of murder of our 2 victims, Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. And it's despicable. Thank you to everyone who's super chatting and supporting the live stream. The second half of this show, I'm going to have women. I'm going to ask a couple of my women friends from the audience because I want to get the vibe from you guys, like how you're feeling about this and Kiosk Kristen, and not just her, all the fangirls that are supporting Wade Wilson, that have supported him in the past, that may be continually supporting him now. Why, and I'll ask this question in advance, why do women support bad, murderous, homicidal maniacs? Why are women attracted to people like this with swastikas on his face, with swastikas on the side of his head, with no regard for human life, with running over our victim, our horrible, horrible thing he did to Diane Ruiz, running her over 10 to 20 times to make her look like spaghetti? Why, after hearing that, would you want to support or love somebody like this? Why? So I'm going to get a couple of our friends and some people to come up and maybe give their thoughts on it. Why do girls like bad guys? I'm not saying all, but why? Why do they do that? It's confusing.
Come on.
I agree, Pablo. Come on.
Gosh, she's so strict.
Because first of all, if I'm not on the clock, I've been there for 2 weeks already, Wade, and I'm not clocking in. How are you paying me? How you would distinguish? You know what I mean? I got paid $7.70 for my 2 training days. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that's
Honey,
crazy.
really?
That's
I can go I can go be arm in arm with some guy and make $500 in 1 hour.
There's the comment. There it is. When I heard this last night, I was actually out in my backyard in the hot tub, and I was on the live. If I showed the live chat from this, you would see me in the chat. I was sending super chats, supporting. But when I heard that, I actually stopped it, and I had an earbud in, and I rewound it outside in a hot tub, and I was like, did I just hear her say what she said? Did she basically just say I could be an escort and make $500 on the arm of, I don't know what man would be on the arm of her, but to each their own. I guess there's somebody for everybody, right? I love his reaction to this.
Can you, though?
How are you paying me? How you would distinguish?
Watch Jumpsuit Pablo's face. I'm going to put this full screen. Watch watch how Pablo reacts to this. And I reacted the same way. I was just like, what? I was like, what?
Oh, hell no.
You know what I mean? I got paid $7.70 for my 2 training days. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that's
Honey,
crazy.
really? I can go be arm in arm with some guy and make $500 in 1 hour.
What?
Can you, though? I'm sorry. I really am. But Horton, here's a Hoochicus is paying.
Hoochicus.
Can I get a hootie who is paying $500 for an hour with you, Madam Purple?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
And I don't have to kiss him, fuck him, nothing. You know what I mean? I don't have to fucking do that shit. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, fuck that shit, man.
You sure he didn't pay you $500? I don't even have to kiss him. You sure he didn't pay you I'm sorry. On a Wednesday after.
I've been there for 2 weeks already, Wade.
Yeah.
And I'm not clocking in. How are you paying me? How you would distinguish? You know what I mean? I got paid $7.70 for my 2 training days. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that's
Honey,
crazy.
really? I can go be arm in arm with some guy and make $500 in 1 hour.
And here's my answer in response to that. I would say if she could find a guy to pay her $500 an hour, this is what I would say to him.
What are you people? On dope?
Thank you, Mr. Hand.
Can you, though? I'm sorry. I really am. But important here's a Hoochicus is paying. Can I get a hootie who is paying $500 for an hour with you, Madam Purple?
I want to share one other thing too with you. When I shared the thumbnail to the live stream tonight, and Jumpsuit said, I want to just say, Ron, that you were kind to Kiosk Kristen by putting that nice picture of her on the thumbnail. I don't know if any of you guys looked at the thumbnail of this live stream, but he thought that I was being kind to her. And I said, well, the good Kristen, our producer, our behind the scenes gal, she selected that photo, and Jumpsuit Pablo said that we were being kind to Wagicus and to Kiosk Kristen. Let me know what your thoughts are in the chat.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
And I don't have to kiss him, fuck him, nothing. You know what I mean? I don't have to fucking do that shit. The fuck is wrong with you?
She said, I don't even have to kiss him or nothing. So I don't know. I think the majority of you guys are all saying that she's alluding to prostitution here.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man.
You sure he didn't pay you $500? I don't even have to kiss him. Ma'am, did he pay you $500 to not kiss him? I'd pay you $1,000.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, baby. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not even, and the money that I got paid, I would get paid from the guy, the lawyer that I went out with one time. Dude, I got paid. He paid me on the books. I could, put my taxes, get my taxes out of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm just catching this now. I missed this. I don't mean to micromanage this whole. Did she just say that she had fun with her accountant or tax guy? That she didn't have to pay for her taxes, and that she put out? Did I miss-kiss this? I got to go back. Let's listen. Let's listen closely here. Lawyers paid her for a date. Okay, let me hear it, because Julia, thank you. Maybe I'm getting kind of old, but I got the thing in here. I got to hear this. Let's hear it again.
Kiss him? I'd pay you $1,000.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, baby. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not even, and the money that I got paid, I would get paid from the guy, the lawyer that I went out with one time. Dude,
the lawyer. Okay, thank you for that. I would get paid from the lawyer I went out with that one time. But then she said something about her taxes. That's where I got the accountant from.
I got paid. He paid me on the books. I could, put my taxes, get my taxes out of it. You feel me?
Oh, okay. So he paid her, that lawyer, that one time on the books. He made her an employee for Sexicus. Was that a Sexicus deal?
Yeah,
that's why single mothers fucking work, so we can get taxes at the end of the year. So we're rich for a day.
Right.
We're rich for a day.
Oh yeah.
And he's laughing about it.
That's why single mothers work. You heard the woman. That's why single mothers work, so that they're rich for one day. Single mothers work so that they can use the tax things you get from having children as a way to ball out. You're the king of the parking lot. You and Jason.
Wow.
The royal couple. Single mothers don't work to take care of their children. Single mothers work so that they can get paid for having children. Take notes, people. Maybe you'll learn something today. You heard it from her.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
dope boy, Rich. One day
they were doing you like that. There's no reason to that, man. Listen, you know what? I remember Tino telling me, he said that his uncle or something went to prison, right? Your uncle or something went to prison.
This is a
No.
Yeah.
No way.
I
Someone in your family went to prison? No. Are you kidding me? Get out of town,
listen. No, what he's talking about my baby dad, his brother. I mean, I made the news. We all made the news. We were the biggest Lee County heroin family drug bust ever.
No, man, really?
Yeah.
Your baby dad. Now, I may be wrong. Is that the same baby dad who left a comment on my video saying he doesn't know how I can continue making these videos and still have a good conscience? After everything we've heard in 1/3 of this phone call, is that the same guy who asked me about my conscience?
Damn.
I'm just wanting to know. I'm just trying to understand who everybody is here. Everybody in the parking lot gathered around the broke down car. I'm trying to understand who everybody is and where they fit in. That's all. That's the only reason I'm asking.
I gotta put it out there. I don't think there's not one person on YouTube that can react to these phone calls, not just Kristen's, all of the phone calls as it pertains here to this Wade Wilson case, like Jumpsuit does. I mean, I laughed yesterday. I got mad. I got, I laughed for the most of it, but I got mad at some of the parts of it, especially with the sharing of the picture of her daughter. But I don't think there's anybody out there that's better than this guy at doing a reaction to this. So kudos to him. And I mean, he's pointing out a lot of stuff from a prisoner's perspective. And a lot of the stuff, the slang terms that they use and the words that they're using, and also the things that they allude to, it resonates with him because he was in prison for 10 years. So he knows about this stuff. This is what makes it liquid gold. He's the GOAT. Yes.
2012, yes. This is in 2012. That's probably what my brother was talking about.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Thank the Lord.
I get happy when I hear that there's 1 minute left. I get sad that I think that the call's coming to an end. But, and Jumpsuit's going to end the stream, but this continues.
He called my brother-in-law his uncle because he was so much older.
Okay.
So he was like, he would call him Uncle Juanito or Uncle Jay. And I'm like, why do you call him that, Gino? He's like, because I'm trying to be nice so I can get a bag. And I'm like, Gino, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, I swear to God. He's like, I'm trying to be in with the family, so I can get a bag. I'm like, Gino, are you fucking sick in the head?
You're being nice to relatives so that you can scam them out of money. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. Another good addition to your family, in your circle. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Hey, baby, you want me to call you tonight? Since you're doing some shit, or what do you want me to do?
Yeah, no, I know you still call me back. I love talking to you. You make
Can
me
I call
happy.
you back? I can call you back. Okay, baby. Okay.
I love talking to you. No mention of any of the victims. She doesn't give a rat's ass about what he did. She just loves talking to him. And I love that I can get my daughter to send you pictures and communicate with you, because the daughter communicates with him. We just are not going to get to hear it. But she puts her daughter on the phone with this guy and they talk. Who does that, man? Who does that?
Very good. I love talking to you too.
Thank you for the super chats.
You're like, no, call me back.
Call me back right now.
I love you. I'll call you back.
I love you too.
All right, bye.
Hey, I love y'all. Hey, I love both y'all. Hey, do y'all love me? What? Call her back. Let's run another call. Let's get it.
Right. Danny.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. You. I wish you were here.
I know, dude.
Right? You would be up.
Okay.
I got to warn you, she talks about her blowjob game here. And I thought it was funny as hell because in Pablo's live chat, I think Melly said, DutyRon, cover your ears. I'm in my hot tub. My wife is with me. I got an earbud in. I'm in the hot tub and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a grown ass man. I don't need to cover my ears. I can handle this kind of talk. I worked in the NYPD for over 2 decades dealing with the street people. I've been in and out of jails left and right. So I thought it was funny. I laughed my ass off when Melly was like, DutyRon, you better cover up your ears on this one. She's talking about her blowjob game.
I wish you were here. You would be up. So I'm assuming, allegedly, you're saying if he was there with you right now, he would be up. You wouldn't be referring to the use of methamphetamine, would you, ma'am? You kind of got it wrong. Really, you should have said, well, Wade, if you were here right now, you'd be probably freaking out on drugs, murdering me. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I wish you were here.
Good analogy.
I would make sure I saw 24/7.
Oh, baby.
You'd be up, long and strong.
Long and strong, baby. Oh, man.
Did she say long and strong or long and John? John and Long.
Straight up. For real. I know it. You only got to tell me, baby. I already know. Trust me.
Ugh.
I got to change my mother.
Oh, you don't got to tell me I'd be up on methamphetamines, baby. I already know. First time I saw your picture, I know if I even come anywhere around you and inhale, I'll get enough particles of just remnants that just surround you like Pigpen from Charlie Brown of meth that I'll be up for 24 hours. I know. You don't even got to tell me, baby. I could look in your face and see it.
Motherfucking order, though. I'm just ordering another thermal anyways, you know what I'm saying? Just in case they don't bring my, because I don't think they're going to bring my shit.
I'm ordering another pair of long johns in case they don't bring me my long johns, or in case that they screwed up and brought me some short jacks. Nobody wears short jacks.
I ordered you like the stuff that we needed to order you on your care pack that I want you to have.
Like the paper. Did you give me a pen?
I also ordered. Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
I got to put the pen. I forgot the pen.
Hold on. I got to highlight this comment. Lexington Felix says, you risk your headphones falling in the hot tub? That's scary. It's an earbud, and I've actually dropped them, not in the hot tub, but I've dropped them in the sink twice with the water running. And I think they're like IP68 rated. They're iPhone AirPods Pros, but they didn't fall in the hot tub. And it is a risk. Life is a risk. Thank you for that comment. That was funny.
I guess I put too many honey buns. I need to take the honey buns off.
Wait, hold on. What?
I know you do.
The honey buns. We always circle back to the honey buns with these two.
I like the ice and honey buns too. Those are my favorites.
That's the favorite.
But that's what made me gain. I gained like
25
pounds there in 2 months, dude. Like no way.
That's what I'm trying to do. I need to gain weight. That's why I need the honey buns. That shit gonna put weight on me. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to weigh more so that when some guy picks me up, it'll be harder to slam me on my head.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to be around Jason right now because Jason really made a fool out of himself. Listen, you know what? Some guy on a scooter pulled over to try to help us.
Now I know we ain't talking about making fools out of ourselves, ma'am. Madame.
Look for because when he opened the reservoir because the car was overheating, it splattered everywhere and it went all over him. What kind of a man doesn't know to not open the reservoir up? Like,
so now she is bad mouthing the very person that drives her to go meet Wajicus Wilson. She's calling him, what kind of man does that? She's dogging someone who she said she knows for 12 years on this jail call. She's dogging the one and only guy, Jason, that can take her back and forth to see Wajicus. You see what kind of people these people are? You see how backstabbing and how not true blue people like Kiosk Kristen and others that are in this prison game, this jail game. It's just backstabbing 101 at your best. These are not people who you want to have as friends, because this guy, even though he's not a good person either, he's got a criminal history. She's bad mouthing him.
Dude, like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
so the reservoir cap, like, it flew off and he couldn't find it.
Well, it sounds like you should have did it, ma'am, with your big tough ass, your big mechanic looking. Why didn't you help the man? What kind of a man doesn't know everything that I know about cars because I'm so tough and rough? Ugh.
So this guy pulled over, this Spanish guy, he's homeless. I've seen this guy sleeping on a fucking bench in Fort Myers before. Yeah. He's like, man, I'll help you guys. What's wrong? Is everything okay? I know how to work on cars. And Jason was so nasty to him. I said, you know what, Jason, that's because you're fucking high and you need your bag, you need this, you need that. I said, and you want to treat him like shit, but let me tell you, you don't see anybody else out here helping you. I
got so mad at Jason because he was having a come down, a crashing, if you will, from all the meth that we've done. And so he was coming down from that high, which made him very irritable. And so He was rude to this random guy. And I got so mad at him. Like, wow, dude, you're really going to be irritable with this guy only because you're going through the symptoms that make you irritable from the drugs we've been doing together? Wow.
Thanks for calling
My
us.
God, you have made a fool out of you.
Thanks for calling a spade, Mr. JSP.
Yourself, Jason.
Right.
Nobody else. Like, seriously, this guy pulled over to help you and you're treating him like calling him names and stuff. And you don't even know him.
Yeah, I would never do that. I would never do
Like,
that.
dude, it was just totally embarrassing.
Yeah, I would never do.
Oh, no, he's got such morals and character. He would never disrespect somebody like that. That is the most comical part of this right here, is his reactions to her conversation. Is like, oh, I would absolutely never do that. I'm so much better than that.
Do that. I would never do that. I mean, I might choke him to death and then I might run him over 100 times, but I would never do. I would never be rude to the guy. Oh, where does he get off? Where does he get off? Because
the fact that, like, I'm Adam Bond, I don't want him getting. He was throwing shit at the car, like slamming the doors, kicking
So
doors.
he was just acting like a little kid, basically, just like a little kid.
Yes, but how are you supposed to find anything acting like that?
Well, you know,
So
when he's coming off his bag or whatever, he's probably like
A little kid on psychotropic medications and on all kinds of psychedelic medication. He's
you know, his nerves and shit are fucked up, but still, you can't act like
yeah,
that.
but he does boy, and then he mixes
I know,
it with
man.
everything else.
These are all the code words for the meth and all the craziness.
I know.
You know, and then you know what I mean.
so she says he does heroin and then he mixes it with everything else, which is probably meth and who knows, God knows what else. Because she says he does boy, and as many of you probably know, boy is slang for heroin, just like girl is slang for cocaine.
And it's just crazy. I can't deal with the attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know, methamphetamine's one thing, but I can't deal with a heroin user.
The H.
That's crossing the line. Never in my life. I can't. I just simply can't put up with the caliber of person who uses heroin. Do meth like a normal person. Come on. Have some respect for yourself.
I don't have to. You're not my man. I don't. You know what I mean? You ain't in my bed. You don't do nothing for me. I don't need to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I put gas in the car. I pay him gas to take me places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like I don't take care of him. And he's homeless. And
So, hey, Coral, good to see you. She says, I'm so over Kristen calls. Give us someone new. Phone calls from prison. LOL. Shout out to Coral and Dexter over on TikTok. If you guys are on TikTok, over and follow her over there. She's covering this, very, front to back. But yeah, there's unfortunately there's more of Kristen than anything. But there are some new calls and new things coming down the pike. But they release these things slowly, and of course we all want different stuff. But Kristen's like the gift that keeps giving, because she keeps calling. He calls her and she calls him, and they support each other, and it's like a love fest. But thanks for being here, Coral.
he showers here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he stays in my yard because my daughter don't want him to sit in the house.
He lives in my yard. You got a grown junkie living in your yard.
Junkie kiss.
You know what I'm saying? So
You're kidding me, man. She goes missing.
no,
Shut the fuck
I'm
up,
not
man.
kidding you.
Well, he
And
needs
then
to
my
get-
pills went missing. Half of my pills went missing yesterday. Half of them.
No.
When I was in there at the visit, I swear to God.
Shut the fuck up, man. Are you kidding me?
I swear to God.
Okay,
I
well,
promise you, Tina.
he needs to fucking get right then. Pay you.
Oh, well, what if he don't? What if he don't get right? What are you gonna do, Wagicus? What are you gonna do? Ask the officer if you can get on the kiosk and type a strongly worded letter to him or to her daughter.
Or something. What the fuck,
Yeah,
man?
right. The guy said he doesn't have a pot to piss in. That's the reason why Kristen always feels bad for us, everybody.
Well, don't
I
let
always
that
wind up
fucker.
taking a loss.
Listen, don't let that guy come fucking hang around your fucking house if he's doing that shit.
Or
I mean, all
what?
my medicine. Like,
Tell him,
I mean,
fucking,
seriously.
tell him he can sleep in the goddamn driveway, but he can't fucking come in the
Oh, no,
goddamn.
he doesn't want him here no more after yesterday. My
Yeah, I
daughter,
wouldn't- you
listen,
should.
my daughter's the one
Good.
paying a lot of the bills here, so.
Yeah, listen.
It's not-
All right, so
Yeah.
there you heard it. She said it kind of quick, but she said, my daughter is the one who pays all the bills here. Now, I'm not a snooper, like I'm not going to do super snooping into this, but her daughter's a teenager. I don't know if she's 18 or 19 or 17, but the daughter is somewhere in those teen years. And She pays all the bills here, and you're sending $20 at a clip to Wajicus Wilson, and your daughter's paying the bills at your house, and you're sending a convict, you're sending an indicted murderer money on his books. I mean, come on. That's a oh hell no.
Oh, hell no.
And it gets a double one.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Hey, listen, Ed, you should listen to her.
My teenage daughter is the one paying most of the bills here.
That's disgusting.
I want y'all to understand, I'm 32 years old. I believe this woman was 35, 36, 37, 38, one of them numbers, years old at this time. Talking about her teenage daughter, who she's sending photos of to Wade, who is talking personally on the phone to Wade, is paying most of the bills in the house.
Oh, hell no.
Ma'am, don't you ever try to argue with me about anything ever again in your life. Your Michelangelo life. That's the M word I'll use.
On this one, I would. You know?
Oh no, I always listen to her.
Yeah.
She's like my mom. I call my mom.
Yeah.
That's my mother. Ever since I went to jail.
I call my daughter my mom. That's what she just said. I call my daughter my mom.
That's crazy.
I don't care about Nick dressing like a bitch.
You have 1 minute
Thank
remaining.
God.
You know, and I really feel bad for the daughter. I'm not trying to crap on the daughter because you know what? At the end of the day, your mother said it herself. Your mother looks at her daughter as your mother's mother.
That's fucked up. And you know, it's screwed up on many different levels because now I wonder how many kids does she have? Does she have more than just a daughter? And are any of these kids in danger? I mean, for me, it's just a scary proposition here, because if you're making these kind of decisions 5 years in the past, what's leading me to believe that you're all of a sudden this reformed mom who is living her life right? I mean, there could be a possibility, but I don't know, man. She got on Coral and Dexter's live and outright lied to us. She told us, and let me know in the chat here. I'm going to put me full screen for a second, but let me know in the chat who witnessed the argument between Jumpsuit Pablo and Kiosk Kristen on TikTok on Coral and Dexter's live. She said that she never once visited Wade Wilson. And we know from these calls that she was in the parking lot in the previous call waiting to go in and see him. So she lied. Current in 2024, this day and age, she got on a live stream and said, you know, my children are going to school and get ridiculed because of your reviews of my phone calls, my stupidity, my dumbness, my irresponsibility, my screw ups, my everything, all of the things that I did as a 37-year-old mother. You're reviewing what I did, and I'm now a better person. That was then, and this is now. I never once saw this guy. I didn't go. I was just chain pulling him. You're full of shit, miss. You're full of shit.
Like, the daughter is disciplining the mother for not being an adult and paying bills and holding down a job. It's just sad. It's not even funny anymore. It's just flat out sad that and then you get on TikTok and say, oh, Jumpsuit, when you laugh at these phone calls, it ruins my daughter's life. Ma'am, you ruined your daughter's life. Your daughter had to parent you. And I only know that because you admitted it yourself to a psychotic woman strangler.
Hey, Kristen.
No, they Kim, thank you for the super chat. As a felon, is she allowed to visit him? They talked about this in a phone call, I believe, and he also talked about this with Breezy in the past. The published calls from Breezy. She also too had just gotten out of jail, and actually she was in while Wade was in, and they talked about it. And he said, you probably can't come and see me because of your past. So she may have used a different name or a fake ID. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of that, but it is what it is. Kim, but thank you for the support. I'm just going to let a little more of this play because the rest of it is just horrific. So let's just let a little bit of this play. And I got a special guest coming in. Melly's going to be joining us in about 10 minutes. So I have her in the back, and I'm going to talk with Melly about, what her thoughts are and what your thoughts are as women. I'm not saying all women do this, but I know that the good women that are out there, it pisses them off because it gives a bad name to all the great women out there, right? When you have moronic people like this that go and love bomb someone who murdered brutally 2 people. And it's not just the Wade Wilson case. We got Chris Watts. You got women sending him fan, bikini pictures, all kinds of stuff, fan mail, pictures, love letters. And it happens with all of these murderers and mass murderers and evil monsters. These are sick, evil monsters, and they're getting fan clubs, and they're getting people throwing $20,000 and $30,000, $10,000 at them. He's got an $80,000 Fansly account. What is that? I just don't get it. It just doesn't add up for me.
Kristen.
Yes.
Bye, baby. We got 1 minute.
All right, hon.
The final 60 seconds.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, we might get I think we get the phone tonight, so I'll call you
Apple Kiosk.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it from him. You know what I'm saying?
Cook now, so that's what I'll be doing. I'll be cooking.
You'll be cooking? Okay, well, don't forget to put money on my books. Love you. Don't forget me.
Love you too.
All right. What are you cooking?
Bye.
What are you cooking?
I don't know what it's called, but it has cabbage and bacon.
Why are you telling me bye before the phone hangs up? Don't ever try to be like that. What's wrong with you?
You're such an ass.
What the hell? All right, Kristen. No, I'll talk to you tonight, though, baby, okay? I will. I'll call you tonight. All right, bye.
Thank God.
Why does it sound so difficult when every time he hangs up the phone, it sounds like so difficult. Brother, put it on the receiver. It takes 1 second. Why are you doing the brother? You can't put the phone down straight right there down in the little holster. It takes 1 second. Dang.
Yeah, and look, Grace P. I hate that a lot of his fans are from the South America, and that they're giving all of us a bad name out to the world. It's unfortunate, but you know what? A couple of bad apples don't spoil it for the whole group, and I'm a firm believer in this. There's great people out there with good morals, with good sound judgment that understand what this guy and many other murderers have done is wrong. And it doesn't matter how handsome, cute, conniving, controlling, narcissistic features and all of that stuff. You have to be able to see through this evil. And most of us do. It's just a very small percentage. And thank God it's a small percentage, but that small percentage needs mental health counseling. They need mental health treatment, because if you think that it's cool to get behind somebody like this, you're fucked. Your mind is not all there. I'm sorry.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, what
Hey,
you doing?
baby.
Oh no.
Nothing. Just came outside to smoke a cigarette.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, yeah? Lucky you.
Yeah.
I wish I could have one. I need
I'm
one.
sorry, you'll have.
Well, guess what? You'll get smokeless tobacco now, because now you got the death penalty. You're on death row, and they offered smokeless tobacco to death row inmates. So you'll get what you want, but it will only cost you your life.
You'll have all the ones you need when you get out.
I will? Okay.
Ha.
That sounds
I
good.
got you.
Yeah.
I can
I have
wait.
a full pack in my hand, waiting for a hug.
Okay. Wow, that's a good deal. A hug and a cigarette? Okay. I call that. That's a great deal. That's a damn good deal.
Man, your life done really went down bad when you get that excited about the idea of someone giving you a hug and a cigarette. You know you're real trashy then.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else might happen, but just saying.
Oh, maybe. I know what else is gonna happen. Okay.
What? You gonna kill her? You gonna murder her?
What else? Tell me.
There's gonna be some stuff going on, okay?
Yeah, some murder going on. Now I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna take your life out of your body.
And it's not gonna be a zucchini, okay?
Okay, I hope so.
Okay.
Maybe I hope so too. God damn.
Oh, you know what? I also, you know, no, I don't. No, I don't. I hope that never happens.
Hey, listen, you better send me a bunch of pictures. And honestly, listen, Kristen, I know you want to send it to me like on the postcard and shit. Kristen, just send it to me on the fucking. Kristen, send it to me on the.
You better not say kiosk.
I think he's gonna.
On the machine, man.
I'm going to let it slide because technically he didn't say kiosk. He said machine on that big box that's a piece of technology. He said everything but kiosk. Thank you, brother. I guess we'll just keep going.
Because when you send it to me.
Yeah, but that shit costs my credit.
Okay, damn. I didn't know you were. You're like, oh shit, my credits. Damn.
It costs all my credits. What happened?
It don't cost all. How many credits does it cost?
Okay.
Honestly.
It costs like 200 credits just to one picture.
Holy shit. Okay. That is a lot of credits.
I'm not going to lie. 200 credits is a lot of credits because it takes like 25 credits to send a message, at least where I'm from. And I don't think it's that drastically different from state to state, prison to prison. 200 is all. That is kind of a lot, but I feel you, Wager, because that's kind of a lot, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just sent it to you, but I won't use blue or purple or green or whatever ink.
Don't use purple, green. Don't use red. Don't use none of that shit, man. Black and white. Black and white.
Okay. All right. Black and white. Black and white. Black and white.
Black and white. More white than black, but still, do whatever. Okay.
Did anybody get a little bit of racial overtone with that comment? That's where I went right away with that in the beginning when I first heard it. And I think that Jumpsuit caught on to that. He said mostly white. And she goes, that's what I like, white. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think in the chat. I don't want to cause a controversy here, but I'm kind of thought that. I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think.
But I feel you, Wager, because that's kind of a lot, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just sent it to you, but I won't use blue or purple or green or whatever ink.
Don't use purple, green. Don't use red. Don't use none of that shit, man. Black and white. Black and white.
Okay. All right. Black and white. Black and white. Black and white.
Black and white. More white than black, but still, do whatever. Okay.
Jumpsuit.
More white than black. All right. That's the way I like it too.
I was just kidding, baby.
I like it too. I don't know.
No, you weren't kidding. You were being honest. I like that
too. Yeah, I was dead.
I know.
All right. I'm going to stop it here because I'm getting up onto the hour mark and I want to continue on with the second half of the show. But there's something in the 12-minute mark that Kristen told me, my Kristen, not Kiosk Kristen. She told me to listen to at the 12-minute mark. So I started at 17 minutes. So let's take a listen at the 12-minute mark. I'll actually go back to 10 and see if we missed anything because she's telling me to check that out. And then I'll have Melly join us because the next part of the show, I want to ask the ladies, and I'll get one other. I'll put the link in the chat. If one other brave woman wants to come up and maybe give us a little bit of your thoughts as a woman, what you think of these girls that fangirl out on Wade Wilson, Wageicus Wilson, whatever the frick you want to call them. I really want to get a woman's point of view, and I think it's important that we hear it from our community. So Melly's getting ready. She's doing hair. She's doing hair and makeup now. I could see her. She's getting all ready, and we'll have her on in a few minutes.
Hey, what's your favorite Ninja Turtle again? What's his name?
Oh, this is the Ninja Turtle. This was actually pretty funny. Let's listen to this.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, yeah.
Well, hey, Wageicus, what's your favorite Ninja Turtle? What was their name again? What was it? Was it Javaria?
I just like Michelangelo because he sounds like an artist or something, like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like.
I just like specifically. I like Michelangelo because he sounds like an artist or something. Like he's the one Ninja Turtle whose name really reminds me of an artist. Ma'am?
How many of the ladies will join? In the chat, put a 1 if you will join in with us, because I want to get one other person up here. I'm going to talk with our moderator, our great friend Melly, to get a woman's point of view. But let me just see how many people would be brave enough to actually join if I shared the link in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you would come in. We're just going to talk about the girls of Wade Wilson. And there's so many of those fan girls out there with the GoFundMe's and all the craziness, but particularly Kristen and these phone calls that are coming in. I want to get your point of view on this. Okay, I see a lot of 1s. Holy shit. Holy shitakis. That's pretty cool. All right, let's do this. I'm only going to 12 minutes here.
Every single Ninja Turtle is named after a famous, legendary artist. Did you know that? Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael. They're all named after famous artists. I'm tired of the Ninja Turtle slander. I had no idea I would be walking into Ninja Turtle slander when I played this call, but as you can tell, I'm very upset. I'm very passionate about it. Don't you get me started. That was my childhood.
He sounds like he's like.
Hold on, that laugh. I've recorded that soundbite and I've got it in my stream deck. I don't want to kill you guys with this, but Wade.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
The smart one of the Ninja Turtles.
Well, listen.
I think anybody that listens to our conversation thinks we're whack. Like we need to get
they're
into
like,
this
hey,
too.
Do you?
Anybody that listens to
So you knew. So here's what's interesting. I think anyone who listens to our conversations thinks we're whack. So
Yeah.
you're aware that people are going to hear these conversations.
Of course.
Duly noted. Please make a mental note of that.
Listen, they're like, these people are crazy.
All you do is laugh on the phone with me and when I'm there visiting you. That's all you do is laugh, dude.
I know, you made me crack me the fuck up. Listen, the people that listen to our phone calls are probably like,
I'm your personal comedian.
You are, baby. You are my
I'm your carrot top.
Oh, man, this is great. I love this shit.
I'm going to dye my hair red just for that.
What?
You might look good with red hair, actually. Matter of fact.
No, definitely. I don't like red hair. Red hair, like, that's like total slut, like slut war. Like, so slut war.
Right.
Red hair is awful. I'll go one shade darker and go to.
Did she say red hair is slut something? I couldn't make out exactly what she was saying. Slutwear?
No, you made me crack me the fuck up. Listen, the people that listen to our phone calls are probably like,
I'm your personal comedian.
You are, baby. You are my
I'm your carrot top.
Oh, man, this is great. I love this shit.
I'm going to dye my hair red just for that.
Baby, you might look good with red hair, actually. Matter of fact.
No, definitely. I don't like red hair. Red hair, like, that's like total slut, like slut war. Like, so slut war.
Right.
Slut
Red hair
whore.
is awful. I'll go one shade.
She said slut whore. Red hair is like slut whore. So basically she's saying anyone with red hair is either a slut or a whore. That's interesting. Interesting. Thank you, the good Kristen, our Kristen, for pointing me out to playing this first up to 12-minute mark. We're past it. So I think we're going to move on.
Go to purple. Purple's where purple.
Right. So where are you headed to right now? What you doing?
Well, we're sitting right now in the parking lot by choice. We're going to the store.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in a parking lot. Just sitting in a parking lot.
Did he make a fart noise? Did anybody catch that? Did he go? Yeah, sitting in the parking lot.
All right, baby. You are my
I'm your carrot top.
Oh, man, this is great. I love this shit.
I'm going to dye my hair red just for that.
Baby, you might look good with red hair, actually. Matter of fact.
No, definitely. I don't like red hair. Red hair, like, that's like total slut, like slut war. Like, so slut war.
Right.
Slut
Red
whore.
hair is awful. I'll go one shade darker and go to purple. Purple's where purple.
Right. So where are you headed to right now? What you doing?
Well, we're sitting right now in the parking lot by choice. We're going to the store.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in a parking lot.
All right. That's enough. I got to stop it. So we heard from Kristen tonight. I got a whole page full of notes on her. Thank you to JumpsuitPablo. His channel will be linked in the description. Give me 10 minutes after the live is over. Kristen shared pics of her teenage daughter with Wade Wilson, an indicted murderer. He also went on to tell her that he masturbates to her pictures, Kristen's pictures. How are we to think that he doesn't do the same with, God forbid, her daughter's pictures? I hope not. And I hope that he didn't share her daughter's pictures with other inmates. But as Jumpsuit Pablo and myself know, Jumpsuit Pablo and I talked about this today. We know that prisoners exchange photographs of not just their girlfriends, but all of their girls that correspond with them, and they get them and pass them around to other inmates so they can do their jack-a-lack off. And it's just disturbing on many, many different levels. Kristen's daughter, we found out, is financially supporting her, and Kristen also, Kiosk Kristen, made mention that she would go out with a man arm to arm and in an hour make $500 without having to kiss him. So this is the sum up of this call, and there was many other gross things that she talked to him about and that he talked about, jerking off into a surgical glove with hand lotion in it, and all kinds of craziness. This call was a chock full of garbage and disgusting conversation. Kristen is a vile human being, and she needs to really seek Jesus in my eyes. So the question that I asked to the listening audience, and I'm going to invite, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and if one of the mods can just pin it, that would be great. Maybe you guys can't, so I'll just do it. Hold on, let me pin that. I'm looking to get one brave woman to come on, but as soon as Melly gives me the thumbs up, I'm going to add her in. She's a moderator, a great friend of many channels. She's got the thumbs up automatically, double thumbs up. She's like, DutyRon, that's a hell
no!
I am ready to go. What do you make me out to be? How are you? Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? Can I hear you? I hope so.
Can you hear me?
I did. Very good. How are you, Melly?
I'm good. How are you, DutyRon?
Very good.
Hello, chat. Hi, everyone.
So Melly,
Yay!
you're a moderator. You go around to a lot of the channels. You moderate for JSP, Jumpsuit Pablo, Vinny, Politan, and you're around a lot of different channels. Your take as a woman as it pertains to these phone calls to Wade Wilson. I mean, I got to hear it from you.
Okay, so I have a yes, Duty. By the way, I do mod for a lot of channels on YouTube, about 20. So they call me Mod Melly.
Wow.
But yes, speaking from personal experience, I have been with someone who's considered a bad boy or a bad guy, right? But now as I'm older, obviously I have like a different perspective. So when I was interested in someone that was a bad guy, I find that when looking back, I find that it was like I was at a different mental state. I feel like I liked the bad guys, but they also were very manipulative and narcissistic. I find that these traits that we see a lot in true crime, within these, people, I feel like I saw these a lot in my ex or whoever I was dating at the time, right? So I feel like if it wasn't now, as I'm older, I know better, but like looking back, I think like I was played, like.
But I gotta ask you, not to cut you off, and I'm not trying to be rude, but if you had knowledge that the person you were talking to was indicted for murdering 2 women, in the case of Chris Watts, murdering his entire family and his unborn son, would you still fangirl on a guy like that? Okay, I get it if he's in there for an assault, he's in there for an attempted robbery. Look, Jumpsuit did several armed robberies. He's a handsome young guy, and girls, vibe with him. He's got a girlfriend. But what I'm saying is why? Why would a 37-year-old mother of at least one teenage daughter offer not only herself but her child and allow her to send a picture on a kiosk to fucking Wade Wilson? I mean, that's what I want. That's what I'm caught up with, Melly.
Personally, I think like if it was someone I had a relationship with prior, it might be a little difficult, right? Like you don't just cut someone off, and if it's someone you've known, sure, maybe you would want to stick by them. You know, they want to do some time. Like you said, Jumpsuit Pablo, he has a different background. Everyone makes mistakes and we all go through it, right? And so I feel like, sure, I can see a female like myself maybe supporting someone, but for the type of crime, absolutely not, DutyRon. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not for
Yes.
like this type of crime. If it was something like Jumpsuit Dude, like robbery, you know, everyone makes mistakes, really. I come from that background as well. I know it doesn't look like it, but I have also made my mistakes. So I feel like
Okay.
if,
So you
if
know.
you, yes, I know. I very much know.
That
And I
perspective
wouldn't.
is very valuable. That perspective is very valuable.
From a female, right? Someone who's educated. I'm a mental health advocate. I work in mental health. I'm on social media, so you would never think it, but I feel like the relationship initially matters.
Right.
But I feel like, you know, intention and integrity is everything, and I feel like, why would you keep seeing someone like this? And as like with Wade, I'm disgusted. I wouldn't see him. I don't care if I had been with him 5 years prior, I would have to just cut it off.
She didn't know him from a hole in the wall. That's the effed up part of this thing, is that she didn't know him from a hole in the wall, and she was fangirling because she saw him on the news. She saw him on the TV. She saw that it was a breaking news story, and she went and she put herself out there. And the same thing happened. And God, you know, may she rest in peace, Breezy. It was the same situation. The only difference with Breezy is that she was in Lee County Jail at the same time Wade was in there, and she actually says that she saw him in the turtle suit walking by the female part of the jail. I know how county jails are set up because I've been in and out of them a lot to pick up prisoners, and the women and men are obviously segregated. They're, you know, separated, but they also cross paths when they're moving them, when they're doing movement. So she said to him in a phone call, I saw you with the turtle suit on and you rocked the turtle suit. So she was like loving on him because she saw him in jail. So she contacted him on the kiosk. Obviously, that's how they all do it. But she already had seen him in jail. So Breezy was a different story. She was in with him. But he did the same shit with her. He did the same thing. Hey, so what are you up to, baby? What are you eating tonight? What are you doing? What do you know? All of the same laughing and carrying on. Like I said, I listened to 13 calls between Breezy and Wade Wilson, and he played her the same way he played Kiosk Kristen. All right. You got time to hang out with me, Melly?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, so I want to add Karen because she's got her camera enabled. If she gives me the thumb up, I'll add her. And then there's Black, I think BLK down there with an eagle, Black Eagle. If you're going to engage your camera, let me know just so I could see you. And then if you don't want to have it engaged for the stream, I'll let you take the camera off. But for me to put you on, I got to actually see who you are. Okay, cool. Thank you, Black Eagle. And then you could just shut it back down. All right. Kraken Studios coming on in. Hey, how are you? Where are you watching from? Let us know.
Melly mods like 12 channels, and I'm like fangirling all 12 of those channels. So
okay, so Kraken, where are you watching from? City or state or?
I'm in Central Washington State.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how long you been watching the Wade Wilson case from the beginning? Did you jump on when Jumpsuit started doing the review?
Well, actually, I got more invested when you brought him on. And I think I've been watching true crime for so long. I'll watch one YouTuber and they'll go, oh, there's this other one, and it tends to kind of be in the same scope. Okay. So yeah. All
right. So as a female's perspective, I mean, what are your thoughts on Kiosk Kristen and others? I don't want to just single her out, but that's who we were reviewing here tonight. What's your thoughts as a woman as it pertains to someone that is now? Remember, she started talking to him when he wasn't indicted. So she started right from the get-go with him, Kiosk Kristen. Same thing with Breezy. Same thing with Joey. They all started in the beginning. Now, there's more players to this, but we just don't know about them yet. But once the indictments come down and the news, I watched the indictments from the news, and it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure it out. They talked about Diane Ruiz being run over 10 or more times. He admitted in a call that he ran her over to make her look like spaghetti. Kristine Melton was brutally not only beaten but strangled and rolled up into a carpet, and he was going to take her and put her in her own car and dump her but he didn't have enough strength. This is knowledge that was out there. So as a woman, and you hear these women calling him and loving on him and telling him that he's gorgeous, that they want to do this to him, they want to do that to him. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I don't even know if this is even a woman's issue. As a woman, as a mother, as a human, I think a lot of this boils back down to generational trauma. And it's ingrained and it's learned behaviors. There's probably a lot of childhood ACEs going on. There's dopamine hits. We know there's drugs involved. And for somebody to get pretty much like their panties wet over somebody who just keeps elevating their level of criminality, there's just no other word for completely deranged. And a lot of it ties back to mental health and emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. But we've gone well beyond a pick-me girl. I was commenting earlier, I don't see her as a woman or a mother. I see her as a child abuser, based on what you've said tonight about essentially letting her child raise her, paying for things, neglect. But I also would have to guess that's a learned behavior.
Yeah. I tend to agree with that, but again, without knowing her history of how she grew up and, you know, her mental health history and so forth, we don't know. I mean, she, you know, this is something that we can assume could be a strong possibility of why she would engage with him. But at the end of the day, drug use and mental health go hand in hand. And I can say this.
They do.
I can say this because for 2 decades, and for a solid 7 years, I was on patrol. And when I was answering calls for service in some of the toughest neighborhoods in Brownsville and East New York, Brooklyn, the main thing that we were dealing with was domestic violence and mental health issues.
And again, it's all tied back in. And it really, then if you just really peel it all the way back, it's generational.
Right.
They're the cycles
agree.
that have to be broken. I recently wrote some poetry about it, and it's unfortunate that it really takes somebody who is extremely strong or literally is so broken. They have to build themselves from scratch to break these cycles. I hope that her daughter can do that. And I hope other young women, not even young, this woman in this case is almost 40, really look at, you deserve more for you. And it just breaks my heart that people think this is love. But a lot of it has to do with emotionally stunted growth. It has to do with trauma attachments and needing some type of excitement to get excited, which then you kind of feel bad for them, because then, you know, you don't really need that when it actually is good. So
I hear you.
I feel like mental health definitely plays a role in that, like how you feel about yourself, right, as a woman, and like how people and men portray you. So I feel like for Kristen, I definitely feel like there's something going on, although we're not professionals.
What you allow, and it's what you allow, but it's also what you've modeled to allow. And again, we don't know this, people, but I'm just saying statistically, working with mentoring youth, even having my own mental health problems and learning about the ins and outs of my own childhood, there is something deeper here, and it's both disgusting and fixable. Unfortunately, it will be a repeated cycle.
Yeah.
I once dated someone that was very much a bad boy. And, you know, looking back on it now, I find myself like, I would never now, but, you know, back then it was like the verbal abuse and like being in that mental state, like really brought me down. So it was like, I was settling to someone that was a criminal, right? Criminal, and like doing all kinds of things. So it was like, you know, everyone in my life was like, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. But it's like in that mental state, and I was living with him. So it was very much like my mental space. I felt like I agree with you. There's some trauma. I wanted to add one more thing while you're talking about the mental. I think there's another element, even her side, there's a need for an emotionally unavailable man or woman in prison that is also, I guess, a dating pool. And there's a reason why someone chooses somebody that they really can't have a relationship with. To. And it all does tie back to our own self-worth, our own needs, wants, desires, our own upbringing, whatever. But as a woman, my heart breaks
for the cycles that keep going in their family.
Exactly.
When I hear these calls, though, my heart breaks for the victims' families, because they hear this stuff and they're like, how could somebody be coddling someone who was so brutal to my loved one? And I look at the Ruiz family and her kids. I look at her fiance, who was emotional in court, and I heard her father, who was gasping for air to just make a statement at the end of the sentencing when Wade was sentenced to death. And I look at Kristine Melton's family. I'm communicating with some of her family members on the side, privately, and giving them some support. They're going through it, and it's so hard for them to hear people being nice to this cold-blooded murderer. He is.
Well, they're re-victimized. They're constantly re-victimized with every newspaper heading. I mean, honestly, even our own genuinely concerning, educating conversations, they're re-victimized the entire time, and it is very hard when you have mind thoughts. What you've seen, Duty. Melly knows. I've shared this in other chats. I'm a sister of a sister whose family was annihilated. My brother-in-law annihilated my sister's family. So I really have that perspective of the clusterfuck. Excuse my French.
No, it's fine.
You want to talk about the ripples?
I would like to talk to you privately about this and hear your story. It's something that nobody, unless
you don't understand, but
nobody,
when you do, and it's an unfortunate camp to say I'm a member of, right?
Yeah.
So, but the family, we always have to remember there's victims and there's people who are being re-victimized every day.
Absolutely. Well said. I want to get to some of these super chats because it's only fair. Wednesday, thank you for the super sticker, your support. Also, Kim Watts sends in a $5.
Hi, Kim.
Says, for the kiosk, because the struggle is real. That we listened and are so disgusted, but we are here. We are with you. Thank you, DutyRon. Thank you, Kim. Love and respect as always. And following that up, another Kim, a good friend of ours, channel member, she said, I'd love to hear from ladies that have had or had a romantic thing with a prisoner that is serving life. I mean, I'm down to do a show just on that. I just would have to get some of those ladies to come forward, and that might be a tough one because they would be subject to some ridicule. But here we would do it respectfully. And I want to get to Black Eagle. She's been holding on for a long time. Wednesday, thank you for throwing your purse at us. Another $2. She says, Kraken, would you consider it?
That's a whole nother can of worms. In my own knowledge, I don't know if it's fetish-ish as much as it's scratching an itch that they are not using the right hand for, if that makes sense. There is a element in the brain that cycles into it. Whether it's fetish, that's a whole nother discussion.
Okay, am I saying it right? Is it Kraken or Kraken?
Kraken, 8 tentacles. Yeah, I own a media company.
Do you want to hang out with us as I add Black Eagle on? Okay, we'll have the Hollywood Squares here. Why not? Hi, Black Eagle. We're going to all...
Hi, Ron. Hi, everybody. I appreciate you taking my call. I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time.
Where are you watching from?
Actually, I have a question for yourself on panel and chat. Do you think that what we've created as a culture helps to feed into the fact that somebody can be, a stone cold, flat out murderer, and now he has support from all over the world? I don't know how many thousands and thousands of dollars are being sent to him, but it's like all of a sudden, I think it's like welcome to the new millennium.
Yeah.
Parasocial from jail.
Pardon?
Parasocial from jail.
Well, I mean, just all of it. And that's my question is that, he obviously knew what he was doing. So consequences, and that's my other question to you, Ron, working in the field that you do. I mean, he no longer has to pay for rent. He doesn't have to worry about food, medical, yada, yada. And let's face it, he's talking to Kristen, but he's happy where he is as far as his love life goes.
Right. Well, I look at it a little differently because I'm not glorifying Wade Wilson at all with these highlights that we do here. And if you notice, I don't really break down these phone calls. This is probably the second one that I've done out of dozens and dozens that are out there. I mainly will listen to them. But what I focus more on is the victims and their families.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying all of us as a society,
right,
you
but
know,
he knows
fandom.
news, but he knows about the news and how the news is portraying him. That seems to be some of his focus early on here in these calls. And somebody like Wade Wilson, he wants attention no matter what, whether it's bad, good, or indifferent. And when even Jumpsuit or myself are speaking about him, we're calling him a stupid, dumb criminal. We're not glorifying him. I call him, and I look straight into the camera when I call him a demon. I call him a demon. And listen, I talked, on text message with Papa Steve, his biological father, and he's on board with that. Yes, his son.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this, Ron. Also, all the women. I mean, Mila, I think has had integrity. His father, Steve, has been great, but also now Kristen has a whole culture. Love her, hate her, can't stand her, whatever. But all of a sudden, she is now something of a celebrity.
Of her own doing. She's a celebrity of dumbness.
And they might just be in on that for it, right? They just might want the clout and what comes with it. But I think it comes from a place of like acceptance as well.
Right.
And this has been going on long before social media.
Exactly.
And I do think it is a psychological, whether a disorder or a component of multiple things. And going back, I think I refer, was it Black Eagle? I can't see your name now. Things in front of it. I think I heard your first question more as, have we kind of created the prevalence for kind of this fandom? I just think social media has helped the extension, but I think the fangirls have always been there. I just think more money is pouring in now.
And the attention as well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like all these phone calls and like all the attention to Wade, it has to come from an insecure woman to go and want to pursue that, especially someone in jail, right? Like, here's going to be in jail for life.
Well, here's the other thing with all the people that have, most people aren't used to being interviewed. You know, you put a microphone and a camera in front of someone and they just start flapping away. Most people don't know how to deal with that. And if you're a friend or a neighbor, I think it just, again, feeds into that. And so
you bring up some great points here, but the really the bottom line is when you sign up for these phone calls, there's that recorded message. Your phone calls are monitored and recorded. And shame on Kiosk Kristen, because she was incarcerated herself and she used that very same system to communicate with the outside. So we aren't playing with dumb, naive people. We are playing with real hardened criminals who have a criminal past, a criminal history that runs far and deep. And that's why this doesn't even feel wrong, because these are people that should know better and that should realize. And you heard Wade Wilson's biological father, Steve, tell him, hey, son, what are you, crazy? Talking like this on here? You're talking to the media. What the F is wrong with you? He basically berated his son. And he still, to this day, Steve says, I love my son. I love Wade Wilson. He loves his son, but knows that what he did with talking to the media and talking on these phone calls, he knew it was reckless, and he knew better. Steve knew better, and he's a hardened criminal himself. He's done time. So at the end of the day, I don't feel any sorrow for Kristen, Kiosk Kristen.
She knows what she's doing. Not only is she kind of naive and immature, she knows exactly what she's doing.
Well, there's a term for this. There's a term for someone who finds it's called hybristophilia, and it
Oh.
basically involves sexual interest and attraction to those who commit crimes. So I feel like it goes into the mental health perspective, and what you said is like these women find this attractive and sexual, and they connect to it in a different manner. I do feel like that matters coming from a mental health perspective.
And there is some people that need chaos too for a spark, and you add all those together and you end up with what we're at right now.
Yep. Well, listen, I appreciate you letting me up. I just wanted to throw one little ditty in at you, Ron.
Okay.
At some point down the future, I would like to speak with you because my husband is Pakistani and was escorted out of our country in regards to the New York City bombing. And sometime I would love to chat with you about that.
My DMs on social media are wide open. I'm public on all platforms.
Very good.
You could go to DutyRon.com.
Okay.
Send me a private message there.
All
There's a little
Sure.
message.
Yep. I just wanted to throw that in there, but thank you. I appreciate the time, everyone.
I would love to speak with you, and thank you for coming up and being brave.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, Becky, I got one more. I don't want to be rude. She's been sitting there in the dark. Becky, just
Millie and I are just hanging out.
Yeah, Becky, come on, Becky.
enable the camera. Hey, Melly, if you want to engage in the chat live here, I'll let you do the hellos to the chat.
Yes.
Becky, could you put on your camera so this way I can add you? She's just dark. So
I know I had to reach over and turn my studio lights on because I was like, oh.
I don't know what to do with Becky. Should we just try it? We'll just try it. Let's see what. Hold on. I actually can't even add her. I don't know why. I'll kick her out. Maybe she'll come back. All right. One more time, I'll share the link in the chat, even though it is pinned. I'll share it one more time if everybody wants to get brave and come on up. I got Kraken Studios and I got Melly, our great moderator. She's just scanning the chat. Do we get any more super chats to come in? Let's see. Oh, one more for the kiosk. And this is Rowan Rain says, for the kiosk, and we finally get to see Melly. Wait a minute. Melly, you have your own channel. What are we talking about?
I do have my own channel. Thank you, Duty.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's a true crime channel, and it's mainly just true crime, and basically I'm a mental health advocate. I work in mental health, and so it's a combine of both. So true crime, just good time. Let's talk about personal stuff. I really like to get deep. So DutyRon, I want to have you on my channel, and I want to get deep into DutyRon.
I'm down.
But yeah, come. It's all good times. No bad vibes, no bullying, all of that. Everyone is welcome. True crime. Let's talk about it. We all go through stuff. It's life. We all experience stuff. So I welcome that. I welcome people who can learn from themselves and have a lot to bring. I find that that's very attractive and very endearing in people. I want to hear about their experiences. People change and people grow. So I welcome that, and that's welcome on my channel. So aside from true crime, let's talk about life and all those things in general.
Hey, that sounds awesome. And I'll link your channel in the description. Give me 10 or 15 minutes after we're done with the live. I'll link Melly's channel so everyone can go over there and
I was going to jump on Melly really quick. She heard me a couple of days ago on Oblivious Benson. I have a new YouTube channel coming out that essentially is similar to Melly's, but it's basically fireside chats about those of us that have been scorched by the brutality of humanity's Hunger Games, have fireside chats and, lower our shields of vulnerability to talk about the really tough life shit that, the hidden.
It's hard. People think it's like easy, right? They're like, oh, it's easy to come talk about our issues and the mistakes that we've made. And it's really hard. And I feel like being vulnerable is like, I look for that in channels.
Well, when you gain perspective from somebody else whose life experience you don't share, that's how we all grow.
And I got to tell you, ladies, this is a much needed genre that is neglected. So I feel like a great deal of the people who watch us have some type of trauma.
They do.
From extreme.
And we don't want to be judged, right, DutyRon? We want to be accepted.
We want to be in a safe.
We all change and can be better people. I really do truly believe that.
Melly, you're hitting it on the head. You're hitting the nail on the head because we as a community, we all need a safe space where we could come and kind of let our hair down. I don't have any to let down, but you need to.
He can borrow some of ours.
Yeah, you need. I could sure shine it good.
I have a lot of it. Yeah.
We need a space where you can really, try to maybe connect and let some of this stuff out.
And you know, for me, like being on the socials and being on the YouTube, I feel like I can
you're
I can
not
talk
alone.
about that. Like, let's talk
Yep.
about it. Let's talk about what it's like
Best
being on social
therapy-
media.
Yeah, the best therapy is a conversation.
Yeah,
I
and my
do that.
tagline is "Where being heard is felt," because you don't even need to participate. You just need to. Oh God, I'm not alone. And
Right.
all of this stemmed from kind of earlier when my sister's family died. I was so alone. There's no handbook, so
It's like kindness goes a
Yeah.
long way. It really does. It
Mhm.
sounds cliche, but it's like, even as adults, like I find myself recently on the YouTube world, it's like, you know, if people were just a little bit kinder and understood each other and just actually treated it like a courtroom, like we all watch all day long, right? In true crime, it's like you want to give people, you want to give them their time to explain their side, and I find that it's important as us
Yeah.
for humans. So
That was a great comment I had pinned up. Somebody
I know
said,
DutyRon will post it, 15 minutes after he's done. But
I-
it's really easy to remember. It's Join the Thunder. You'll find me on everything. Join the Thunder.
one of the mods, please put it in the chat. All right, Angela is here. Look, she's making funny faces. She's like, "Oh my God, he's going to put me on." Holy crap! Angela S is from Long Island. She is
Angela.
She loves this community. She's always engaging. She sometimes has technical difficulties because we try this on the members only, and it's always a colossal fail. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that it works. Angela, good to see you. Good to have you. How are you, dear?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Angela.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
Yay. So what do you got as it pertains to Wade Wilson? What's your thoughts on these fangirls?
Well, I am late joining because I just got home from a night of dancing. So you're gonna have to fill me in. I mean, I know the story, obviously.
Right. I'm asking women. Okay, I won't put you on the spotlight because I don't want you to get nervous. I'm asking women their thoughts about the phone calls and the people that are supporting Wade Wilson, male and female. How do you feel? But particularly pertaining to women, how does it make you feel as someone who obviously would never support someone who's a murderer? But when you hear these women calling Wade Wilson, what's your thoughts, Angela?
So, all right. So don't be mad at me. So, I mean, the part of me thinks, of course, it is ridiculous supporting a murderer, right? So you have that point. There is the small point that women tend to go for the bad boys, right? Like there is that, I feel,
Attraction.
Yeah, I do feel
It's true.
that there's
It's true,
an
very much.
attraction.
That's why nobody ever
towards
liked
I
bad
told
boys.
DutyRon that earlier. I was like, at some point you find it attractive and sexual and you want to
Is that why nobody, is that
mean,
why nobody
I
but my
do.
wife loves me? Is that the only reason? Because I'm not a bad guy. I would be-
No, you're a great guy, dude. And I just like, when I first saw him, I was like, he's like, I'm attracted to him. I said, this is crazy. He's a murderer. Like, I mean, like, how does that always work out that women are attracted to these murderers? And when you hear the
Attracted
details,
with swastikas on the face and on the side. I mean, I know
yeah,
it's
that
not
part's not attractive. You know what I mean? I see, like, I guess I look at him without that. Like, I can have a visual without that stuff on his face. And like, and it's funny because I know I said it before, he sounds like Rocky Balboa. And like, I think that's what kind of like pulls me in a little bit because it's something that, everyone loves Rocky movies, right? Like, so like when he talks, I think he sounds like that, but no, in all reality, of course, I don't think that women should be sending him money and writing him and stuff like that. I don't think that. I think it is crazy,
ladies, I saw a couple of comments in the chat while the stream was going before I added Melly and everybody in. I saw a couple of women in the chat say, DutyRon, you're wrong. It's not all women. And I never said it was all women. I'm saying the women who support these type of heinous murderers. Where's their heads at? And Kraken said it well. It may be a lifelong or generational, mental health issues and trauma from being abused or There could be a whole,
Or even loneliness. What about like,
Exactly.
you want to have like almost like a pen pal, like a,
Or like acceptance too.
right,
acceptance. Yeah.
not being loved by your father, not being loved by your mom, being raised. Look, he was raised by adoptive family, which by all means we've heard that adoptive family was caring, was loving, but I don't know that for a fact. But this is what I heard: loving, caring, providing, well off kind of people, not rich, not living in a mansion, but living well, and he was provided all of the things that would should create a positive outcome.
Right.
But you could be the best parents in the world. You could have one of your kids do very well, and there's always a black sheep of the family. Like I don't know of any families that are picture perfect. And if someone says my family's perfect, they're full of fucking shit. And that's the bottom line.
Then there's no mirrors on their walls, apparently.
No.
Right.
Right.
But anyways, we spent almost 2 hours here on this, and I have to thank all of the moderators and the replay viewers, the super chatters, and everyone who engaged positively here, because that's what makes this a great place. Melly for being a moderator, Kraken for being a subscriber and part of this community.
Nice to see you, Melly. I've never, seen you, live.
Kisses. I know. I see everyone online all day long, and it's so nice to finally see everyone. I love it. I love all of you. You're wonderful. You all support me. DutyRon is amazing. I mean, I can't say enough, but let's have these conversations. So let's,
You're having them on your channel.
I am. I'm going to have DutyRon. I want to ask 21 questions, deep questions. Duty, you better be ready, DutyRon.
No, I'm ready for you.
The other night, so.
I'm ready for you whenever.
They're deep. I like to get personal. I work in mental health, and I'm a mental health advocate, and I've also been through a lot in my life.
Nice.
So I really like to dig deep into, why people are the way that they are. And I find that interesting. I like people's stories, and I don't judge it. I don't judge it at all. And I think that so many of us do on social media. And again, let's step away from that and be more accepting and be kind and be willing to hear. It really does go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Amy. Look at what Amy said. One bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch of girls. LOL. I'm old. I'm old like you, Ron. Yeah. Listen,
you're not old, Ron. Come on.
Duty, you're a gem, Duty. And everyone here, DutyRon fam in the chat, y'all know I see you. Joey, Stella, everyone. I love you, all of you guys. So supportive. I'm on everywhere. So it's so nice to come up on here and talk to everyone and, just show love. I feel like that's important. Let's show love for each other and support one another. And Duty's very good about that. And I very much appreciate you, Duty.
One point that I wanted to bring up.
Go ahead.
I was raised in a loving household, although my parents fought all the time, and I heard my dad being very verbally abusive my whole life, and that really molded me out to be like not only a really good person, like I always said that if I ever got involved with somebody, that I would never want to do that. I would never.
You broke the cycle.
I don't want.
And that's hard, right? When you grow up with something that you see all the time, and it was someone who you look up to and you admire, and someone who's supposed to be a role model.
It's heartbreaking, honestly.
I can appreciate that now you don't look for that,
Yeah, like now that my mom's gone, like my father now is verbally abusive to me, and it's painful for me to get through. And I speak to a therapist weekly, and
good.
It's hard. It's really.
I'm glad you got good resources in place, though, because that is putting yourself first, and that's important.
And again, just know you're not alone, right? Like we all go through things, and we all show, what we want to show in a different side of us. It's like, I don't come up here and talk about my problems and my past, but I'm willing to. Low. I don't want to be judged. And it's a place of coming from being vulnerable. But I appreciate that in people and humans. And I think it just makes us all better and kinder.
Absolutely. And, to piggyback a little bit off of what you said, Angela, is like, when I grew up, my parents fought all the time too, and my mom and dad were divorced when I was young, but I was young enough to understand what was going on. And when I raised my family, that was one of the things that I vowed to never put my kids through is letting them hear, their mom and dad argue. Like my father threw a Christmas tree through the front window when I was like 8 years old. I'll never forget that. The police had to come to our house. He didn't hurt my mom or us, but we were all scared. So when I raised my two boys, I said, I'm not going to put them through that. And I've been with my wife over 42 years, and with our dating and marriage, and my kids never saw any of that. And I made sure that they weren't going to see that. And again, that's something that resonates with me when I hear stories like what you tell about mom and dad and so forth. It's traumatizing to go through that. So
I'm still going through it, honestly, and it's
for me. It was like the opposite of DutyRon. It was like I grew up in a really good family, and my parents, they've been together like DutyRon 45 years.
Yeah,
I've never seen my dad act crazy, and I know you guys think like, what? He's perfect, and close to it. I've never seen him do anything violent or even be violent towards me. And so then I met someone that was kind of violent, and so it was like, it flipped my world upside down, and my family, they didn't know how to deal with it. My dad's like, why? Yeah, my dad was like, Melly, why are you dating someone like this? And he was getting restraining orders, and like, it's just like, he didn't understand, like he was like, I don't see where you're like attracted to this man, and you've never seen this at home. And I just thought like, that's very interesting, like it's very interesting how I allowed myself to go into that place.
Wow.
And for like my dad, he's never even yelled at me, and I'm in my 30s, so you have to think like, wow, for me to come up here and say that, and then to be with someone who verbally abused me, it was almost like it really mentally affected me. And being in the mental health field, and I am a mental health advocate, and I am a mental health professional. I work with victims of SA, mainly children. So it was very difficult for me to separate all of that and be like, why am I allowing this? And he was a criminal as well. So I was like, it was new to me. I was in school. I was a good student. I've always been, so it was very different for me. But like I said, we all come from a different place, right? And like,
shame drives a lot of decisions. Even if we're even doing what we think is right, a lot of it comes from shame.
100%. I'm going to get to one more of the super chats because I don't like to forget these. Mark, thank you for the super chat. He says the sooner Wade is unalive, the better. People donating money to his GoFundMe is crazy. I can't believe people have donated over $80,000.
I know, that's crazy.
It's insanity. It's insanity, and that's coming from it's coming from another country too.
And his son has a GoFundMe, which that blew me away. His son has only I think it's like 2,800.
Yeah,
it's so wrong. It's so wrong. He shouldn't get any of that.
That GoFundMe was started on TikTok by the gal that came in here. Why is her name blanking in my head? Anyway, Coral started that GoFundMe for the son. Sorry, Coral.
I guess she's with the mother. I mean,
Wade shouldn't see any of that.
She's with Wade's biological father and his wife, and they're doing that to help support his young child.
Okay.
So he's got one biological, and kudos to her for starting that. Carrie, thank you for $2. Is it required to shave their heads for entering DutyRon? No, it's not required. Not for the men, not for anybody. But I know you're joking, Carrie, but I just been shaving my head for like 20 years. I just like it.
You look good, bald.
Yeah, I have pictures of me with hair, and you guys will be like, "Oh God, who is that?"
It would probably look so weird.
Who's that dude with the hair?
We're like, "Who is that?"
Let's rock out the end of the show with Pablo doing the meet me
I
at
love
the kiosk, meet me at the kiosk, the little dance and song.
I love when he gets up and stomps around.
I do. I love JSP as well.
Let's listen to that. Melly, you're sending super chats from our live stream here, Melly. What are you doing?
Come on,
Melly.
Melly says,
"Come on, Duty. You know me. You guys know me."
Thank you, Melly. Thank you for supporting. Let's listen to the ending here. This is Jumpsuit Pablo doing the review of Wade's last phone call with Kiosk Kristen. But at the end, he always gives a shout out to phone calls from prison, and there's a little bit of an outro song. So let's listen to it.
Kiosk messages. That's what I need. I need to see them.
I promise.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
Meet me at the kiosk in your long johns. Got my daughter mad at my mom because she's not paying bills. Keep the lights on, and we're gonna get kicked out on our lawn because I'm not paying bills. In our long johns. Oh, they got the extended outro. The extended outro. I like it. I love it.
So everybody go on over to Jumpsuit Pablo and subscribe to his channel.
Yes, I mod over there as well. So come on, everyone. DutyRon, JSP. Let's all be one big family.
Is there any channels you don't mod for, Melanie?
That's what I was going to ask.
I mod for all of the YouTubes.
Oh my gosh.
Popeye the Bird
I
is
first saw
laughing.
Melly on Vinnie Politan. That was the first
I do.
time. That's where I saw her first. And I was like, now the face, and then they put the face.
I do. On my channel, I talk about modding. People are interested in it because they're like, why do you mod for so many channels? I'm like, and there's bad sides to it and good sides to it. So I genuinely love everyone. And I only mod for creators that I genuinely believe in. So like DutyRon, I know he's good people. I love him. I love what he stands for as well. So like, just know that, you know,
oh my gosh,
I'm modding for people that I truly love. And
you're in a
believe
community where,
Angie says this is part of the Midnight Canteen. We're part of the Midnight Canteen crew.
Good thing I brought my long johns.
I want.
I'm West Coast, so I'm like, it's time to go.
I want to say thank you to the beautiful ladies who joined me, Melody, Kraken, and Angela S. We also heard from a couple of others who were brave to come up on here. So Black Eagle was on with us and she had some great insight. And then we couldn't get to one of the others who couldn't, I guess, engage their camera. But I want to just also say and end this on the victims and their families. Sending prayer, strength, and positive vibes to Kristine Melton's family and also to Diane Ruiz, her 2 boys and her father and the extended family, her fiance. They're all going through it. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And when you think about this case and all the laughing and fun we have with these phone calls, we keep them at the forefront and always in our hearts. On behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, I want to thank you all for being here, the replay viewers, the moderators, the super chatters, the folks who buy us cups of coffee, who support us through Patreon. You guys are what makes this a great place. I think we're close to 347,000 subscribers.
Wow.
You guys are kicking us. You're kicking ass.
Yay! Everyone subscribe, share DutyRon. He's amazing. Let's get this family growing. Good vibes.
DutyRon, one last question. Do you think that if this money is raised and if he were to be able to get that money to do an appeal, right?
He can't get that money.
I don't think he can either.
I was gonna say, is there a chance that he can they can overturn the death penalty or no? Like there's not.
Well,
I think he owes that money too, right, DutyRon? Like I think there's like a legality behind what he owes.
There's a ton of restitution that's attached to him.
Just curious,
both the victims and their families. There's a ton of restitution that's attached to him, but there's many legal ramifications. And I'm going to have a Florida state death penalty attorney join me next week to explain the appeals process.
Awesome.
We're going to ask him questions because we're not experts at this. So listen, Melly, you know me, and so Angela, you know me really well. I think Kraken, you know me pretty good too. I don't go outside of my lane. I'm not an attorney. This is not my expertise. And when I'm not expert on something, I don't want to talk any shit about it. So
you gotta have the right people at the table. That's the only way we learn.
Yeah, the bottom line is that the appeals are going to be done by his legal counsel, which is provided by the state. That means the Florida residents, the people like us who live and reside in Florida. Not that I reside there, but I'm just saying the people who are taxpayers in the state of Florida, they're footing the bill for this scumbag, for Wade Wilson. His appeals will be handled. If he wants to go outside, or if a private firm like, say, the Innocence Project, there is a rigorous vetting that they do of these cases. They don't just jump on every Tom, Dick, and Harry's death penalty appeals. Right. So the Innocence Project will not get involved once they see.
I would have a big problem if they jumped on board. That would.
You're going to look at the evidence.
That's not in their ethics.
They look at the evidence. They look at the evidence and they look at the totality of the whole case. If there's something that's shady in there, evidence-wise, then they'll maybe look at it. But they have an unbelievable team of legal experts.
Yeah, their core values are too important to not take on those. Yeah.
Correct. He's not getting that, and that's a Wage Kiss Wilson wet dream. That's a wet dream that's going to go wrong for him.
Kiosk kisses.
Baby, can you put $20 on my kiosk?
What did he refer to the glove as? What did he call it? A kiki?
A kiki, yeah.
Kiki.
Hey, that was my nickname as a kid.
Wet dream fail.
No.
Yeah, kiki wet dream fail. All right, guys and girls, on behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace, I want to say thank you and good night from New York City. We'll see you all soon. Stand by for a message from the cop team. Peace, guys.
Always.